Well, I'm ready when you are. Are you ready?
Ugh, was born ready.
You're the most ready, the readiest of boys. Welcome to episode. Is this five? Are we in five or six? This is six, right?
I don't know. You're the one uploading the
Shit.
videos.
We're off to a shaky start on this podcast here. Let's see. I have to go to the YouTube.
Like, and this is when the intro music plays.
Yeah, exactly.
Just start.
Just go. Episode 6. Welcome to episode 6 of the P3cast. We're now at, the last save point. How was your drive into the studio there, Zach?
It was a very short drive.
Yeah?
I walked to the office.
Oh, that's good. Like, it's a good way to beat that LA traffic, It's what do you think? Do you think 2 stories was too much? I figured we should have like a space for our interns.
Oh, I don't know. I took the helicopter. I'm talking about walking off the helicopter.
Oh yeah. I thought the helipad was a little bit opulent, but you're making the money, so I let you make the financial decisions. Thanks for letting me have that espresso machine, by the way.
Well, you got that little TV for your office, and I got the helicopter. It seems very even.
Do you regret not getting the 148-inch TV?
No, I'm happy with the wall TV that I bought. The Samsung wall TV.
Yeah.
The individual panels. It took them a whole day to install them.
I do kind of feel bad that we're not paying Nick or Derek with all this subscriber money, though.
I mean, I don't want it to go to Nick's head.
It's true.
Yeah. You keep him humble.
That makes him the everyman. It makes him, everyone appreciates an everyman. That's why we don't pay him, so you guys can relate with that.
Yeah. Nick's the Frank.
When you're
the Charlie.
Yeah, exactly. When you get like famous and rich like me and Zach, you kind of lose touch with the common folk. So you surround yourself with them.
I just described my real life.
You're like taking off your rings, like your diamond rings, like, oh, hang on, let me get my silver ring cleaner.
Oh my god.
Welcome to the podcast, everyone. If you've been sticking around since the channel move, you've noticed like we're all settled in. We're into the new digs. We're starting the new episodes, and everything is chugging along nicely. Just like the underground subway to our TLSP studio that you had installed. Also opulent, but your friends
It's like the little tram from Resident Evil 4.
Exactly.
Where it's like it looks like it doesn't belong.
It's how we get our celebrity friends to the office without them being seen.
It's like a Willy Wonka style tunnel.
It goes sideways, upways, downways, and leftways.
Yeah, but it's like still like in the subway.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh my god.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the new format, I guess. So we're here now.
It's like going to be pretty much the same. We don't have really any new stuff planned. I'm going to try to do some more live action stuff. I was thinking about doing a like a roulette wheel.
LARPing.
No, not butt LARPing. Wait, did you say?
I didn't say butt. You said butt. I just said LARPing.
I heard butt LARPing, all right?
Yeah, I bet
Don't
you
ask
did.
me why I heard butt LARPing, but that's what I heard. But no, me and you had actually discussed this, like having like a roulette wheel style thing where it roulettes through my collection, and that way I have to play like physical media. And I could do like a small review on like the console that it's on, or like maybe the game that I'm playing, like as I'm playing it. I don't know. I have some stuff that I'm cooking, but you gotta let me cook.
Yeah, I think like small form, like 15 to 20 minutes, and then you do like a wrap up in like 5.
Exactly. And like, so it'd be like a 2-minute intro live action. That's me pulling it off the shelf, doing the roulette roll, and then like plugging it into the system. Right. And then a back end 5-minute where I do a wrap up of a review or information. And then the chunk in the middle is gameplay.
You gotta have like a really janky like robot rolling machine, like with like fake shitty like Christmas lights on it.
It'd just be a dice tower, you mean? Like a dice
Yeah,
tower?
you just press a button.
I need to get like a Connects thing. I need to go find some Connects and get like a Connects crane. I mean, like, actually, why don't we just get the engineers on it? That's why you hired engineers, right? Let's get engineers on this.
You get like a little crane machine where it like picks the game up and then drops it in the slot, and then it like drops down and then it shows that.
Bro, that would be actually a really cool prop. A crane machine that pulls it. Oh, I like that. But I have to just set up the crane machine, like, you know, like prop it beforehand so I can pick up the game that rouletted every time.
And then you got to do the thing where it's like a game that you really want to play, and then you're like, I keep trying to get that one, and then just like you just video of you dropping it over and over again.
And then when I finally get it, it's a really bad game. It's like
the label falls off and it shows something else.
Superman 64 or something.
You're like, it's just like Final Fantasy VII over and over again, and then when it drops down, you're like, you look down, there's a different game, and then Final Fantasy VII is still in the crane machine.
Like, what?
You're like, God damn it.
I should just fill it with Final Fantasy VIIs and be like, oh, my favorite game. And then when the crane machine dips into the pile, it pulls out like fucking Bubsy or something.
Gex 3.
Yeah. Oh, man.
But yeah, we're trying to update stuff. By us, I mean Chris. Is putting out content for us. We're trying to record as much as we can. We have a lot of stuff on the way, but
yeah, we have
bear with us.
Resident Evil's pretty much done. Like we have we're pretty much almost done with Resident Evil. But the thing is, we're trying to decide whether or not we should double release some episodes just to get it out, or we should just keep doing, you know, Monday Resident Evil, Wednesday React, and then the announcement, or maybe you've already noticed, depending on when this gets released, Friday Final Fantasies.
Yeah, so, you know, if you want the videos released sooner, why don't you leave a comment below? Tell us what you want.
We really appreciate your comments, too. Like, yeah.
Because it's not me who has to put it out.
Yeah, I mean, I can do it. Like, we have enough content now where if we up the schedule, we can still record or have recording sessions once a week and have an output, like an input schedule greater than our output schedule, which is what I'm trying to have right now. Like, always have scheduled content so we're never struggling to put something out where it's like, oh, we have to record or there's not going to be content.
I know this is all riveting content for anybody who's watching/listening to this right now.
This is inside baseball.
I'm sure it's fantastic. I'm sure you guys, your eyes have not rolled into the back of your head yet. You're not like, what the fuck?
Like, they have
Let's
12
fucking content.
They have 12 subscribers. How did they make all of this money?
You're like maybe 11, maybe
Yeah.
11 now.
Oh man, but yeah. Let's not waste your time with it. One of the biggest things that's been happening recently is it's the new season of anime. You know, we had the big conclusion of Demon Slayer. And what else were we watching last season?
You mean My Hero?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. My Hero.
Demon Slayer?
Yeah, the big conclusion of Demon Slayer. Sorry, that was all that was happening last season, I think. But it opened it up to a season of.
Oh wait, no, it was Demon Slayer and Hell's Paradise.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh, and we were watching Heavenly Delusion, which was. We ever talked about the end of that? Did we?
I didn't finish watching it.
Oh, you didn't? All right, well, that's good, because we also didn't plan to talk about any of the old animes. So just say, like, I think all of them had a pretty satisfying conclusion. Demon Slayer. Having the highest expectation and the weakest conclusion.
Okay. So you did it again.
You know what? I did, huh? You're right. I did it again. Let me hang on. I'm gonna say Demon Slayer right now and edit in me saying Demon Slayer. Ready?
Like, and it has to be flat too, like not a normal cadence, so it seems super off, like it's a fucking like dubbing over a Godzilla movie.
All right, ready? Here we go. Demon Slayer.
So, yeah, I mean, last season, Demon Slayer, good, little light on the story, a little too Deus Ex Machina. What was the other one? Hell's Paradise.
Hell's Paradise, yeah.
Production quality went down for me over time. I became less interested in the story, and I don't know how in I am for the next season, but who knows?
I'm in on that one. I like the monster design, and I like the. It's a common kind of theme right now, but it's like, oh, the world is mystical, but it's really fucking dangerous. Like, everything's out to kill you. I kind of like that. So I like watching these characters. They're scaling up to the world right now, but I want to see the world scale past them again. So that's what I'm in for.
I think if it gets too shonen-y, because I wanted it to be self-contained and less shonen-y.
Right.
But if it gets too shonen-y, where like everybody has, because it's going to be everybody has a power. It's like, how far do we have to go?
Right.
Is my concern. Like if it's, I don't want it to be Dragon Ball Z. Like I want it to be more self-contained.
Yeah, I
Like,
don't.
I want it to be like Scried or something like that.
Right,
Like,
that's what I was
there's,
likening
like,
it
two
to.
levels or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was like trying to think what you can put it up to. It's like those like old one-shot samurai animes that used to come out. Instead of like it being 14 seasons and it's like everyone evolves and grows and there's teachers and 16 different levels of enemies, and it's like instead it's like, like you said, self-contained. I think it would be better, but I have the feeling it is going to do a little bit of that. Speaking of which, new season of Bleach is out.
Wow, that's not even like the smooth transition. You could have talked about the Dark Trilogy instead.
Ah, yes. What is the Dark Trilogy? Tell me.
It's JJK, Chainsaw Man, and Hell's Paradise.
Oh, that's right. I forgot Hell's Paradise was a part of that.
Well, I mean, I was super hyped off of the end of the last season. They left us like definitely wanting more with Yuhaba and like Ichigo and like, oh, we have to go get more shit. Ichigo's getting to see his new sword and all that shit. And I feel like the first episode of this season, because I've only watched the first one, I haven't watched the second one. The second one is out as of this recording, but I've only watched the first one. It's a little slow, and it's like it's just catch up, and it's like it wasn't even that long ago. Like for them to like be like, all right, we got to establish all this stuff real quick, and I'm like, can we just get to the fucking thing? It was only like 10 or 12 episodes.
Yeah, I completely agree, actually. I liked, it was like 15 minutes of filler and catch up, which was like very Dragon Ball Z. It's very shonen, right? To be like, all right, here we go. Let's ramp it back up. We got to do more ramping, right? But then at the very end, you get like, what is it, like 2 minutes with Uryu and Yuach, however you say his fucking name.
It's Yuhaba.
Yuba? Oh, that is right. Okay, so Yuba and Uryu get like the last 4 seconds with them, descending upon Soul Society. So I mean, the tension is there. It's just this first episode was like, it was almost like cranking it backwards.
It was too much setup, I think.
Yeah.
Like there's too much foreshadowing for what is going on, and I'm just sort of like, what is. Remember the King Kong movies? Like, just get to the fucking monkey already. Like,
yeah, it's kind of like that.
What I
yeah,
feel about it.
Get to the fucking fights. Yeah, I agree, and it's like, well, I think that's what's supposed to happen. Episode 2 is like they're gonna start getting to the fights, and I think that's why episode 1 might have been slow, is because they're like, all right, let's get all of this, like, precursor shit out of the way, so we can just go full on the gas for the rest of the season. That's what I'm hoping, anyway.
I mean, I hope they do it, but I feel like there's a fine line between like what Demon Slayer did this last season versus like long drawn out. Like I want it to be more the My Hero Academia pace, where like you can extend the fights to like maybe 2 episodes.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be any longer than that, and like I don't want a rapid escalation like out of nowhere.
Right.
Like, I don't want to burst through the wall thing.
Personally, my reason I want to watch it is I want to see how these Soul Society members are going to meet the challenge. I'm curious to see their new powers and abilities. Like, obviously, we got to see like the little training thing between fucking what's
Rukia and Renji.
No, the other two, the big sword guy, chip sword guy.
Oh,
I can't think of their names. There's
Kenpachi
and yes,
Unohana.
Yes, which was awesome. That was my favorite part of the season, I thought, watching them fight. And so it's like, okay, we had that big build up for them to get over that hill. Let's see it come to fruition. And I hope that that's what happens in season 2. I get to see a lot of this stuff come to fruition. We get to see the science guy. What's his name? The weird one.
Fuck.
See,
I can't.
Judoichi?
Mitsuri.
Okay, Mitsuri.
No,
Yeah.
no.
No?
Is it Mitsuri?
I don't know. Like, I thought it was something. I said something with a J that I can't even remember now.
Or is that the girl from? Yeah, that's the girl from.
Yeah,
But yeah,
there's so many names now. But yeah, I want to see him, like, because he's been doing all these experiments and stuff. I want to see, like, what he does now, too, because he's obviously not going to let them, just step all over Soul Society. And more importantly, his experiments,
it's,
So,
it's Mayuri.
Mayuri, that's it, Mayuri, yeah, yeah. And then we also have Eisen. Like, what's Eisen doing?
I mean, so I know some stuff, so I don't want to spoil things for you, but you
Yeah.
know,
All right, well, let's move on
your
before
your
we
your
get.
your 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 favorite character might be one of the strongest people now. So
Hell yeah, the Byakuya.
no,
No? Why Hitsugaya.
yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, dog. See, I remembered his
Uh,
name. Got my hair cut like him in high school because I'm cool.
anyway, let's talk about JJK. Episode 2 just came out a couple days ago.
I haven't watched episode 2 of this yet. Have you watched episode 2 yet?
Yeah, I watched episode 2. Well, why don't we talk about what your thoughts are episode 1, and then I'll kind of give some vague stuff about episode 2.
Well, I'm in love with Gojo. Like, he's such a, like, I don't know.
He's the same character as before.
I know, but like he's
and,
just.
and we literally had a discussion. You're like, I don't like Gojo. He's too much of a Mary Sue, which is exactly what you said.
I
He's
know.
the same character.
I know, but he's just got so much swagger. He's a Mary Sue, but he's not like. He's not like tortured. Or he might be. I don't know. Like we haven't got a lot of his backstory, right? But like.
Oh no. This whole season is about that.
Right.
About why he is the way he is now.
Well, that's what I'm, and it's like that's what I really like about him. It's like he's kind of unapologetic and like you can tell now. Like even as mature Gojo is unapologetic. So like young Gojo is even less or even more unapologetic, and it's even crazy. I don't know. I just love the swagger, and I know you're not even the biggest fan of JJK as a whole, but I like how JJK presents itself, and Gojo I feel like is a big part of that presentation. So I think it's nice getting to see how it comes up.
I think I like this season more because I hate the main 3 characters. I feel like they're very boring and don't have a lot of character.
Right.
Versus the 3 characters we're getting now, which all have distinct personalities, even though they were characters in the first season. Like, I think that there's more variance there, and the trope of the 3 main characters in season 1 is like so tropey that it's like boring for me. Like I understand if it's baby's first shonen, like for the new generation, like I understand like, oh, it's all brand new and fresh, but like I've seen it too many times.
Well, I agree with you. But I think what plays into this season and this cell of characters, we call them a cell, right? Because that's what we're in Naruto, like 3-man cell. But like this cell of characters being more interesting is they actually have conflict within the cell, because like
and we know there's conflict.
Yeah,
we know the future if you've seen the movie.
Exactly. Yes, I was about to say it. And so it's like we get to find out like this really cool backstory, and on top of that it's like watching the villains kind of in My Hero. It's just so much more dynamic of a story, and they have so much more drive than our like kind of cookie cutter shonen protagonists, right? Which is why you never really like the main 3 in a shonen. They're just there to like, I guess, drive the plot, and then these ancillary characters come in and you like them way better,
Yeah, and I think that it's having the same effect of when My Hero did the My Villain arc, where you're getting all this information about them, but it feels like coherent because they're all together instead of all being separated.
Yeah.
Based off of episode 2, it's like way more foreshadowing about who the villain is and what they're trying to do. And like it's basically establishing that it's not just who they're going after, it's Gojo's attitude about how he interacts with everybody is a weakness, and like them establishing that,
Right.
I think is more what this is about, and sort of what the conclusion is going to be.
Well, I find it interesting because the first episode was totally about interpersonal conflict, right? So the second episode introduces the external conflict. So it's now going to be a season about how the internal conflict is going to negatively affect the outcome of the external conflict.
And this season's definitely about how Gojo becomes who he is.
I'm down. I mean, I'm excited for this season. something I don't know if I'm excited for, but like I'm just kind of like I'm watching it out of kind of morbid curiosity for my nostalgia. You said did you watch the first 2 episodes or just the first episode?
Yeah, I watched both.
Kenshin, Rurouni Kenshin. I know, I think we have to say it. We know about the author of Rurouni Kenshin and what he has done. And it's not something to laugh about.
He's the Kanye West of anime.
Yeah. He's I don't know if he's done things or said things or drawn things, but I'm pretty sure it was pedophilic in nature. So in watching Rurouni Kenshin, we do not stand with anything that the author does. I don't know if people are banning it or boycotting it. I haven't heard anything about this. Have you heard anything about that?
I haven't heard anything about it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think anybody's said anything, but I mean, I haven't really been on Reddit either.
Okay, well, that aside, what do you think of Rurouni Kenshin? What do you think of them tying in the Batosai and the Samurai X storyline into the Rurouni Kenshin main storyline?
I'm gonna be honest, dog. I feel like the show's fucking boring.
It is boring, right?
It is boring, and it is telling the exact same story, and it does not look any better.
And not only that,
I'm sure it looks better, but like it does not feel like it looks better, and it doesn't feel like they're doing anything.
yeah, not only that, the fights don't look good. Like the fights are like it's like they could have aged it up and make some flashy sword fighting shit, but they like do all of the like 90s anime trope stuff that they did to save budget on actual animation, right?
And it's like it's the exact same characters, the exact same circumstances from the very first episode.
Yep.
It looks like they did like an HD remake of the show.
It's for bringing new fans to the series, I think. So like people like us can be like, "Oh, have you seen Rurouni Kenshin? That was from my childhood. You should watch that." And then we go back and we watch it and we're like, well, these characters are pretty iconic, but why did I like this so much?
Yeah, see, I feel like it has the same feeling of when I watched like the first episode of Yashahime, the Inuyasha thing.
Yep.
And I was just like, this isn't for me.
Yeah.
Like this is for somebody else.
Exactly.
And I feel like that's what it's gonna be like for the show. Like after watching it, I feel like I probably won't keep watching it. Because like the characters that I'm really interested in are not until the end of the anime, so I'll probably just wait.
Yeah. I just read that message you sent me, so sorry if I got stunned there for a second. Zach just sent me the charges. The author of Rurouni Kenshin was charged for possession of child porn, and it was only like a 200,000 yen fine, which is like 20K US.
That's 2K.
2K US, wow. And so, yeah, and so he got off, and so people are pretty upset about that. I mean, rightfully so, but yeah. I mean, let's not go down that rabbit hole. Let's just say it probably won't last long. We probably won't even watch the whole season, but
Yeah. I can almost guarantee that I will not.
I'm going to watch the second episode, and I'll make a decision probably by the third or fourth.
Well, let's talk about a more lighthearted anime then. Let's talk about Reborn as a Vending Machine. I now wander the dungeon.
I haven't watched this yet, but Zach has been pushing it on me. He says it's really wholesome.
It's like I feel like you're going into it like not taking it too seriously. It's very funny.
Yeah.
Like it is not high production quality, and I will not be surprised if I don't finish it. But like I'm watching it, and like the way he has to use his power, it is so ridiculous.
So it's an isekai, but it's like a management sim isekai because he has to like stock his inventory.
Like, I'm not even gonna bother spoilers. He literally put Mentos into fucking Coke to defeat the monster.
Hell yeah!
It's just like having to explain what to do. It's very wholesome because the characters are very like ignorant, and it's not high production quality. I feel like if you go into it like without high expectations, it's fine.
Yeah.
Like I think it's like a palate cleanser relative to the other two things that I'm like really watching. Oh wait, we didn't talk about that.
What?
I forgot to put that on the list. Oh, do you have anything to add about the vending machine, and then I'll talk about it?
No, I mean, I mean, I've seen there's too many isekais out there. We've even watched the like self-aware isekais, and it's entering this weird absurdist genre where it's like, I don't know, come around the bend twice to where it's like shit posting. Like I don't know. I can't describe how, like, I don't know. Isekai is a strange phenomenon right now that's happening in the anime genre.
I mean, I agree. I think that's what it is now. So it's like it's fine. Like I'm just like this is fine.
Yeah.
Um, so the anime that I watched that we didn't talk about was the new Fate series. The first episode was an hour.
Oh yeah,
Um,
was it? That's the new one they had the special on, right? And that was the hour-long special.
yeah, and I can't remember. It's somebody very specific who's doing it, and it's like it's not. I don't know if you guys are big into it. You know, Ufotables typically does the Fate series, and they're not doing this season. And you can tell based on the style that they're going with, it is more. The scale seems bigger, but the effects, like the art style, seems lower quality. It is more of a Fate Zero type of story. It seems so far.
But what you're saying is it's not done by Ufotable, so is it still able to keep your interest without that level of animation?
I think that for me, the two main characters that are in that the first episode, are from Fate, Absolute Demonic Front, Babylon. I can't remember what it's called, but oh, it's made by A1. Um, but they're the ones who made like Sword Art
Oh, so it'll be decent.
and Erased.
Interesting. Yeah. So it's
But then also but also Fairy Tale, and then Darling and the Franks.
huh.
So it's kind of all over.
Yeah, you don't know what you're gonna get out of it. It kind of depends on the project.
So I'm I am interested. I don't know what the release schedule is going to look like, but if you've watched our tier list, I'm a big Fate fan, and the my favorite character being the main point of it so far is very very good for me.
Who's that? Is that Gilgamesh?
Yeah,
Oh,
because
nice.
so he's the main one they introduced in the first one. They introduced a few different ones, but the big scale thing is with him and the his best friend in the what do I want to say, the background of the actual characters, like the myth.
Gotcha.
So I'm interested. I'm waiting for the next episode, but yeah,
Yeah,
I'm excited.
I watched the Cat Husband anime and I dropped it after like I kind of scrubbed through it and I was like I think I'm not going to watch anything else this season. I don't think there's anything else that's really been mentioned either that I'm aware of.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything else. I mean, if you guys think there's something we should talk about or like even react to, leave a comment down below.
Yeah, if there's an
I say that a
anime,
lot.
yeah, if there's an anime out that's right now, what did I just say? If there's an anime that's out right now that you're watching that you want us to check out, definitely comment and let us know.
All right, let's
You know,
move on. No, we're moving on now.
I know I have a good transition. Like we'd have more time to watch anime if we weren't spending if I wasn't spending so much time, deep in the ocean. Part of this move and new budget, part of my contract anyway was I wanted a personal submersible so I could Dave the diver in real life. Cuz I've been playing
He
hours.
he uses the submersible to get back, not
Yeah,
to
well,
go.
yeah, well, that's what I need it for. I needed to collect it so we can, have fresh seafood for our sushi restaurant, the in-house sushi restaurant. Okay, but seriously, I have been playing the shit out of Dave the Diver. I bought it on the Steam sale, right? Which was what, a week ago?
It ended on Thursday.
When did it start though?
I want to say a week and a half ago.
So yeah, a week and a half ago. I bought it the first day of the Steam sale. I have put almost 60 or 70 hours on it, and I only have 2 more achievements to get. I have 3-starred the entire fish decks. I completely hyper-focused on this game, but it's such a satisfying gameplay loop, and I think that Zach can attest to that because he binged it when he first bought it.
Yeah, I picked it up when when they had those demo days. Like I what was that, like last fall? I like put 23 hours into it, and to the point where like there wasn't things for me to do. It was just time wasting. Um, I haven't gotten back into it because I know that it's going to be time sinky, and I only have time for like one or two games to be playing, so it's not taking priority right
I mean, when you did play it, it had quite a bit less content from what I've inferred. Like, because we've had conversations about it. Zach has put me on a ban about talking about it because he doesn't want me to spoil the new content. But by what I can infer, it's went from like a 23-hour game to like at least double that content, and there's all kinds of side content and mini games that come with it, and it's a really fun game. The only problem is once you reach that end game, like Zach did, you know, what is that, 6 months ago? Oh no, more than that.
now.
12
No, that was
months
like almost
ago.
a year ago.
Yeah, like almost a year ago. There's nothing to do. You kind of end up in this mode where you're grinding because, like, I'm just trying to get the last two achievements because I don't really have another game to play right now. But yeah, you end up in this kind of grindy mode where you've like, I've caught all the fish, I've done everything I need to do. Now I'm just, you know, getting food for my sushi shop and running this sushi shop loop.
Yeah, it just turns into like an actual management game, right? Like if there's no more
Exactly.
story, and the story is what keeps propelling you forward to keep changing things, as opposed to it being like, how much money can I make at my sushi restaurant? And then you hit like a wall where it's like, well, this is basically as much as you can make, and then there's like, well, where's the challenge left?
Well, yeah, the you have to have a reason to dive, because if it's just the sushi management game, the diving becomes a chore, because you just want, if you're just wanting to manage this, make money and manage the sushi shop, you want something that's going to get you fish automatically, right? But since you now have to dive for no reason, the diving game loop, that section of the game, becomes very tedious, because it's fun when you have stuff to explore, you're getting new fish, and like there's all kinds of new challenges. It's great to go diving, but when there's nothing to do, the diving is really, really tedious.
Well, and it's like when you're going down there just to get, which is just to get fish, right?
Right.
Like just to keep going, which is what the last like maybe 5 hours when I was playing the demo was doing.
Hmm.
It's just like, well, I'm gonna do a dive. It's gonna take an hour because I'm just min-maxing, right? Like I'm not actually exploring. I'm trying to, get to the bottom to get to these specific fish, right?
Literally go to every shark and gather every shark's meat. Like, yeah, because you know where the sharks are.
Yeah, and it's like it just becomes like sort of this loop where you're just like, ugh. Like I could, you could do like one dive. It feels like when you're, I mean, for something you would understand, like when you're playing Magic, you're like, okay, I'm just gonna do my dailies kind of thing, or like I can do like I'll play like one game, right? Like you're not in it to play as long as you can. You're just in it to get your little fix of the game and then be done.
That's exactly what I'm doing now. It's like I have to space it out so I don't get burnt out on it. So it's exactly like Magic. I can't sit there and binge it. But speaking of like sitting and binging, do you wish you could be binging FS16, or are you enjoying the pace you're playing it at right now?
No, I actually have a question. I have a
What?
question
Oh.
about Dave.
Oh, okay.
It, do you think that if DLC came out 6 months from now, you would play it?
Yeah, I think I would.
Like, if like, do you think if you were playing another game, you would play it?
Hmm. Depends. It depends on the content too. If it was like a whole nother area with new fish and like, you know, maybe some new stuff to get, sure, I would do it. But
Okay.
I think that it would have to be a pretty big update. It would have to be not just like, here's some cosmetic stuff, you know? I'd be like, no.
Like, you need a whole new section, like a DLC area, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Like, here instead of like coral and all that stuff, maybe you do like maybe it's like Arctic or something. Or no, that's already in there.
Yeah, that's
So
the
what kind of biome would they go to? So it's like it'd have to be like some Nautica type shit
hmm.
where like you go like it's fucking the Godzilla movie where it's like, well, there's this whole separate area where it's like it doesn't even make sense that this is here.
Uh-oh. I mean, I don't want to spoil it for you.
No,
but,
no. Like,
yeah.
no, I remember that part was in the demo.
No, I think they could do like the seabeds, you know, like in Subnautica, where they have like the big what is it? The kelp farm, the kelp forest. They could do a kelp forest. They could do like an actual coral reef because they have the shallows, but they don't have like a coral reef. They could do like a really nice coral reef. They could do underwater.
What about like some open ocean shit where it's like super scary?
Oh yeah, it could be like dark. You could have a dark
Yeah.
mechanic. That would be pretty cool, actually.
where it's like you're not having the walls and stuff.
Right. There's no landmarks. It's just completely open.
Yeah, and you're having to do that, like make it more scary.
Mm-hmm. I like that idea. You have to go really deep too. They could do like a Mariana Trench thing.
Yeah, and then you get like all these, you can put in like those ancient, like, assumed extinct fish kind of thing.
Exactly.
Go ahead, you can segue again.
Uh, segue again. Final Fantasy 16. Go.
So the game's been out for what, 2 or 3 weeks now.
Mm-hmm.
I have not gotten to play it as much as I want to. If you guys don't know, the reason is that we record the videos separately from the game. I mean, from us actually talking about it.
That's mostly because oh, sorry. I was just gonna say that's mostly because our schedules are wonky, and it's like I don't want to prevent Zach from playing the game, and I want him to be able to enjoy his games.
So I have not been moving as quickly as I would hope. I'm probably 6 or 7 hours into the game right now, maybe a little bit more, maybe 8. But I'm also doing everything, and like anytime there's a side quest, I'm doing the side quest. I'm like fighting all the enemies on the map. Like, I'm really trying to take my time with it. And right now, my thoughts are, I feel like I am alone in this where I say that the game feels hard.
Yeah, you've been
Like,
saying that. It's been kicking your ass.
like, not like okay, maybe not hard, but I feel like it doesn't baby you. And I listened to the Drop Frames podcast, and they were talking about like, well, this game feels really, really easy, and it's probably because I don't prioritize healing, and because the enemies are kind of spongy, and I want to be able to kill them quickly. And a lot of people have been equating it to Devil May Cry, and in the fact that you use a sword and there's magic and stuff, but their enemies are way more spongy than that if they actually have a life bar. And there's some of them where it takes, it might take 2 or 3 combos, but there are other ones where it's going to take like 20. And like having to use healing items and stuff, that's not the game I really want to play.
Mm-hmm.
But it could just be because I've just gotten the third party member. um
So is the
one
like your heal pony is the third party going to be the healer or what? Like
No, she does stuff. It's just, I think that's what's happening. But I've opted to not pilot those characters and just pilot the main character, and they give you an item to do that. Um, because like this is just how I'd rather play.
yeah.
Um, Instead of like, I don't want it to be a turn, like to be turn based, or like I was playing Final Fantasy 15. I want it to be, I'm gonna play as the character I want to play as.
We
But
want
maybe I should try playing as her and see what that's like.
so
Or
in so sorry, but in by comparison to let's say the Final Fantasy VII remake, right? Combat wise, would you say it's more simple or difficult, or is it harder or easier? Like in comparison to Final Fantasy VII, how would you say it is?
I say the combat is very simple. Um, they use an ability point system to improve abilities, but in terms of character customization, it's like any other Final Fantasy game where it's like, okay, this is the chest piece, this is the accessory, this is the sword, and each area you get a new one, and then but you can upgrade them, and it's like, okay, but they don't really add anything because you don't get access to like a lot of different magic.
Mm-hmm.
You basically only have access to the magic of the icons that you have.
Do you think that's to keep combat more simple and keep the roles more defined of each character?
I think it makes it so it's more approachable for people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think it makes it really easy to just jump in and fight things, and like, we're not talking about weaknesses or anything like. I mean, the weakness thing might actually work. I'm not paying attention. I'm just watching the life bars go down. But like, realistically, the game is not about managing weakness. It's about managing the break bar, and like seeing which attacks, that it's more about hits than it is about like typing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been okay. The story's been, I hit the big plot point where you get the second icon, but since then it's been a little slow. Like basically like the last hour or two that I've played, it's been more fleshing out the characters. and the characters are very vanilla. Like, not that that's a bad thing. It's just like they start off the game with like this very dramatic introduction, and
Yeah.
now we're back with certain characters from the beginning, and it's just, you know, personalities do not match the world around them, and so it feels very much like Final Fantasy like 12, where the characters are way more flat, where it's more about the world being kind of wild than it is
Hmm.
about the characters being, because the characters are more reserved,
Interesting.
more realistic. Um, like I'm still playing it. I didn't play it last night, but I played it on Thursday. But I'm playing it like maybe half an hour, 45 minutes at a time, and some of the stuff just feels a little tedious. And I've died maybe 3 or 4 times. You know, just trying to like, oh, I'm gonna kill this thing before it kills me, and I don't know. Everybody, it's been a solid mid eights on most of the reviews, and so I'm wondering when the next big story thing happens, when like the character has forced to change,
Hmm.
if that's gonna change how much I care about the game.
Well, the game has been described on more than one account as like kind of like Game of Thrones, Final Fantasy. Like, to what degree do you think that is true?
I think in the beginning it's a little dark, and like they've established like some things that you need to be worried about, but I feel like they don't affect the main characters,
Hmm.
and like it's more just getting information.
It's
And I
more of
feel like
like,
right now I'm on like the part where you're like watching two characters just adventure and not really, they're not having that aside where you show like, well, this is what's happening in King's Landing. Like, I'm
mhm.
on the road right now. So I have no idea what's going on everywhere else because I think I'm so early on in the game. And where I'm at right now, they're going back to the first area, and I'm sure that when we go back there, a lot of things are going to happen.
Mhm.
And so I have like that's the next recording that I have to do.
Nice. Okay. Well, I mean, I'm looking forward to it, and you guys can look forward to it too because we are doing this as a part of our next big long play. So Resident Evil's done, right? We're finishing that, and then we're going to be continuing with Final Fantasy 16 for as long as possible because there are a couple pretty big hitters coming on the horizon, and a lot of them are coming fast. So
Yeah, and we don't know. I don't know what that's going to look like when,
maybe some one-offs. Maybe I don't know. We'll see what's going on.
yeah, Baldur's Gate, Armored Core 6, Starfield.
Yeah,
There's something else that comes out in there that I can't remember.
I know you've been talking about it.
All those are coming out in like a month and a half, and then we have the Cyberpunk DLC in October.
Hmm.
So it's like really knocking out the, like, if there's any games that you want to watch us play, or like, I mean, we can also do like live stream stuff and get you guys involved, but if that's something you guys want, just let us know, because I mean, we're gonna play these things anyway.
Yeah.
Content, it just matters which content we're gonna put out. So
Exactly. I don't think it would be a bad idea to continue playing Final Fantasy. I'm sure you're going to want to finish the story
no,
anyway.
yeah, definitely finish that. I meant with those other four.
Oh, right. I'd like to do some more group collaborative stuff, like 4-player stuff. That's what I'm trying to facilitate. It's just difficult to facilitate. So we'll see where we get.
Look forward to more videos coming out. You know, I'm sure we see you guys clicking those videos, watching them. So appreciate you guys.
Yeah, we really do. This has been fun. I really enjoy this. Like, even though I'm doing all the editing and stuff, like, I actually really do enjoy this. And
Jesus,
little-
always harping on all the work you have to do.
well,
Cry me a river.
right. I'm sorry. My contract specifically stated I wasn't allowed to say anything about my workload, and if I could do that for a year's time, I get a Lamborghini. So I just gotta think of the Lamborghini. You're right. So that one won't count, right? We could, we wrote the contract, so we don't have to count that one, right, Zach? Okay.
I can't comment on that.
All right. I forgot what we were talking about. I was thinking about my Lamborghini and our contracts and those poor interns driving up in there. Got to go through LA traffic. Can't use the helicopter or the underground train. Oh man, I've been actually getting a chance to watch a lot of TV in my private jet.
for those of you at home, Chris does not work. So,
So I've been getting
even at the office. When he says he's at the office, not really at the office.
Yeah. But yeah, we really appreciate it. I really do enjoy doing this. But yeah, you know, it does give me a lot of time to watch TV. I've had a lot of time to see some movies and stuff like that. One of my biggest endeavors that I've taken on in the past month since our last podcast is since Fast X specifically, is I've been wanting to watch every single one of the Fast and Furious movies, and I've officially done it. I've watched every Fast and Furious movie.
And
the ratings that are on the internet for the movies aren't necessarily true on which ones are the best and which ones are the worst. I can tell you that the best one, in my opinion, it's different. For nostalgia's sake, it's 3 because Tokyo Drift is awesome. But watching it as an adult, and especially in today's culture, you watch it and you're like, oh, this is rough. This is really rough. Like, some of it is actually, like, pretty like on the nose I think it would be like in Japan, or what I've learned from watching anime and Japanese culture stuff.
Oh, you mean it's super stereotypical?
Yeah, right.
Like 2 and 3 have not aged well.
Yeah, they have not. But so 1 is really good. I think 1 is actually one of the best ones. But I think it's going to surprise you that my favorite, I think, might be Hobbs and Shaw.
Why?
Why? I just think it has.
I have thoughts. I want to hear why.
So, I think it has the most well put together story. That's not like. Let me rephrase that. Because at a certain point in the Fast and the Furious series, they said we don't need stories anymore. We can pin together action scenes and put little soap dramas in between those action scenes, and we can make a movie. And as long as those little soap opera scenes connect from movie to movie, we can make whatever action scenes that we want with cars, right? And that's the whole thing. So they had the whole series building up to Fast 8, F8, which is, we all know what happened in F8.
We call it Fate, Chris.
Fate, exactly.
Fate of the Furious.
Fate of the Furious, yeah. But we all know what happened in F8. It's the highest rated one. I think because of the tragic death of Paul Walker. But so that one that came after that was the Hobbs and Shaw, and it was because they had just introduced, the Rock character, Jason Statham's character, and they had this huge storyline to play with, and now they're involved in the CIA. It's more of a secret agent and heist films by this point than they are racing films, right? They've lost the thread long ago.
It's also the first one that they've actually had real character development instead of being overloaded with a cast size the way they are in the mainline ones.
That was exactly the point I was getting to, is I feel like the characters in this one, they grow on you. They turn from one-liner action heroes to people with backstories and fleshed out personalities. And that's what makes the appearances of the other characters so worthwhile in the series, right? It's we love seeing Han because of what he means in Tokyo Drift. The same reason for the 17-year-old. I'm 17. I can't remember his name, but when you get
17 going on 45.
Exactly. I love to race expensive cars. I'm 17, but I got a Hemi, and it's my third car I've wrecked, and I'm poor. It's like, what? But anyway, yeah. So when we see those characters, we love them because of the content that they had behind him. So The Rock had no content because he had just shown up as this brick wall Mary Sue kind of character that's I'm the CIA, now we're an action hero, right?
He's just the archetypical cop. That's what he was supposed to exist as in the series, to be a foil to Vin Diesel, right?
Exactly. He was the super cop, right? The inflappable injustice. And so go ahead.
I feel like for me, the ones that I like the most are the ones right before they became absurdist.
Yeah.
I like 4 and 5.
Which was 4 was the one where they had to bust Dom out of jail.
Yeah, those are the ones that are borderliney, where it's we're gonna rob this stuff, but then when they're dragging the safe through the city, is that 5 or is that 6?
5, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that those ones are more interesting. 1 is the best one.
1 is the best one by far.
1 is the best one.
Yeah.
but I feel like those ones where we're really getting to see the character, like we're really growing up with the characters, I think are the ones that mean more to me.
Well, 1 and 4 were technically, that's the natural progression. It goes 1, and then 2 and 3 are separate stories, and then it goes to 4. So it's 1 and 4 have this really nice cohesive kind of like through line of it's still about racing and pulling heist as a racer, right? But then once that kind of loses it, like it pulls away from that, that's when it gets absurd. And like you either are on board for the absurd stuff or you're not. And so it's like you either like it or you don't. And I really like that kind of stuff. So it was cool watching Fast X and then going back and watching it all and being like, now I need to watch Fast X again because I've now watched all of them, but I haven't watched Fast X.
Well, I mean, now that you've talked about watching Fast X, I mean, maybe you need to wow the people with. Chris goes to the movies like every Tuesday and watches movies, like at the discount.
It's like $8.
So,
yeah.
He watches every trash movie. So I'm looking at this list. It looks like there's only one good movie in here. So, and good is, I heard it's not good because of your experience. So.
Oh yeah. Well, all right. Stay tuned in this one. I'll do that one last. Don't mute yourself, but I'll do that one last so you can join in on the conversation. I can tell you what happened on that movie.
All right. You ready for me to hit the button?
I'm ready. Here goes.
Ready? Go.
All right. So I saw, let's see, I got 4 or 5 movies on this thing. I got 4 movies this time. So I saw The Insidious, The Red Door, saw Asteroid City, Beau is Afraid, and Indiana Jones. I'm going to group Asteroid City and Beau is Afraid. It's kind of like the same thing. It's like Ari Aster and I can't remember the guy's fucking name. He did the Tenenbaums and Life Aquatic. He's a famous director.
Fuck. I can't remember what his name is. I'll look it up while you're talking.
But yeah, so they're both kind of like the same kind of director now that they've been put into this like upper echelon of artsy directors where they have to now make these movies that are elevated, you know, like, oh, it's
Wes Anderson.
Wes Anderson, thank you. Yes. So Wes Anderson and Ari Aster, you know, and these were like their, I don't know, surreals. They're both like surreal in a way. And out of the two, I would say see Asteroid City. Beau is Afraid made me walk out because the thing with surrealism is like you infer what it meant, right? But it's really about how it makes you feel, you know. And so you walk out of Beau is Afraid being like, that was weird. Like I don't know if I enjoyed seeing that. That was like really long, and I felt like I endured it. But when you come out of Asteroid City, you're like, that was all right. It was a little long-winded, and, you know, a little pretentious, but I get it. It was a nice message. So I'd say see Asteroid City as opposed to Beau is Afraid. And then I saw Insidious: The Red Door, which was, oh my god, that's just horror schlock at this point. Like, how many of these fucking Insidious movies can you make? We get it. It's like a boobity bobbity. It fucking looked like old Greg. The monster looks like old Greg. I'm sorry. That's
what he looked like in the first one. Like, I don't understand why people like the movie.
I don't know. It was really weird. If you know what it felt like? It felt like a really long episode of American Horror Story. And I don't like American Horror Story. So I did not really enjoy that. But unfortunately, I don't know if it's unfortunate or if it's just like the consequences of the other movies I saw, but the best movie I saw...
I mean, it was hilarious to me.
Yeah. The best movie I saw and the worst experience in the theater I had was Indiana Jones. I took my dad there for Father's Day, and he decided...
Father's Day in July.
Yeah, well, it was a late Father's Day gift. He was like traveling or doing something. I don't know. We didn't get to actually go until then. So we hung out all day. You know, we ate food. And then, you know, in the theater, while the prequel stuff, not like the previews, so it wasn't loud, right? You know, like the trivia and the like, here's your local firefighters, you know, like that kind of stuff was playing on the screen.
Don't swim in the canal.
Yeah, that kind of stuff, exactly. And it's like, so a military commercial comes on, and my dad just comes out of nowhere, loud as hell in this. It's not a packed theater, but it's not full either. Like you know, there's someone in every row. There's a group of people in every row, and he comes out of left field, loud as hell, wanting to have the trans debate with me. I could not believe this man. It made the show fucking terrible. And it was like, I had to literally shut him down. He kept going at me to a point where I had to be like, look, we fundamentally believe different things, and he was like, what do you believe? And I was like, I believe people should be able to identify however the fuck they want to identify. Like, I was getting heated, and it's like one of those things where you like realize that you're you're taking the bait kind of thing, right? And so at that. But yeah,
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I just shut him down at that point. I was like, I can't have this debate with you. Like, I remember telling him, like, he got in. What did he say? He said something about oh yeah, that's what he said. He said, well, what about in sports? And I wanted to be like, well, fuck sports. I don't give two shits about sports. So why should I give a fuck about any of that? Like, you're debating me in an arena that I literally do not care about. I care about trans people, but I don't give a fuck about sports. So it's like, it's like,
Everybody's on a spectrum.
right, exactly, right. And so I don't know. It was just weird. It was like, so I told him, because there's a trans boxer who's used to be a female, as a male now, and is boxing as a male, and she's winning, or he's winning. I apologize, and he's winning. And so I brought that up to him, and he was like, "Well, I didn't know about that." I was like, "Exactly, because you're talking about biased facts." And I think that was the last thing I said to him about it. Just like look forward for the rest of the movie. Oh yeah, and then he talked through the whole movie, and he like did like the loud yawn thing like 3 times, where he like, I was like, oh my god, I'm never taking this man to the movies again.
But how was the actual movie?
Oh right, the actual movie. I don't know. I was too distracted by my father. No, it was all right. It was. It felt like the energy that Harrison Ford delivers now as an 80-year-old man was the energy of that movie, if that makes sense. It was kind of dry, a little bit dour. It wasn't really inspired. It was just kind of like, we're still living.
He's still alive.
Exactly.
Dr. Jones is still alive.
But John Williams did score it, which was the best part about it. I did enjoy listening to the soundtrack. And it was like they actually had oboes in a soundtrack again. It wasn't just like fucking giant organ stings or dubstep.
So would you I know you basically didn't recommend any of the other movies. Which would you recommend people go see Indiana Jones?
Yeah, if you have nothing else to see, go see Indiana Jones. I would say it. Like if you're looking for something to do, it's a good 3 hours, and it's like it's the conclusion. There's no way they're making another Indiana Jones after this, unless like Harrison Ford is like, yeah, fuck it, make a hologram of me. Like there's not going to be another one.
Well, I mean, sounds like he wastes a lot of money, but
But wait, do you think Tom Cruise will let people make a hologram of him? I think he might be vain enough to let that happen.
I mean, he already gets lifts. Like,
he's got to be taller.
So,
how tall did he look in the new Mission Impossible? So Zach got a chance to go to the movies this month.
yeah, this is the first time. So we've recorded these since March or February. This is the first time I am contributing to went to see a movie. I took the day off. And I was like, well, I got to do something with my day, because if I just sit at home and play video games, that's exactly what I would do on the weekend. So I bought a ticket to the movies and forgot I didn't look at the date, and the date I bought them for was 2 days later. And then when I went to get the refund, the lady was like, oh, we're having a preview tonight. And I was like, oh. I was like, she's like, do you want that? I was like, it's at 7 o'clock. This movie's like 3 hours.
I'm an old man now.
I mean, I guess. And like, I'd already bought my popcorn and everything. And so I came back, and that movie is 3 hours.
Was it worth it though? 3 hours?
I think so. I think the issue with like these really long form movies is that you feel like it is. Oh wait, what is it called? It's Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1. That was what I saw.
Right.
And I feel like when they have the movies really long, it feels like there's a certain point where it feels drawn out, like they're wasting time. The way you kind of described when you saw as John Wick, right? Like there was like a whole section where like they could have cut it out and it would have made the movie better.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Where you're just like, is this fucking over already? Like, and you're like checking your watch. I feel like for me, when I was checking my watch during the movie, I was surprised at how much time had passed, because it feels like it flows really well, and there's only like a couple of points where I'm like, what the fuck is happening right now? like that doesn't even make any sense.
I feel like Indiana Jones was like that too, actually. It had good, like, even though it was 3 hours long, it was like, I only checked my phone like each hour. It was like each act is when I checked my phone. So it was like, it was well paced.
I think that the story is very absurdist. I mean, with like these, I mean, Ethan Hunt is essentially America's James Bond, right?
Yeah.
So like it's some very absurd storyline, and it's fine. It's mostly about them, but I think this was. It's been a while since I've watched, because the last one was Ghost Protocol, right? That one came out a while ago.
Yeah, it's been a while. That was the one where he did the
So
airplane stunt.
yeah, the last one was the airplane stunt. So I don't remember if they folded in other characters, but this was like the first time I saw them fold in a character from the first movie,
Oh wow.
like from the 90s.
That's totally what's happening right now. Did you notice that? Like all of the movies right now, like they have to do the Avengers thing. And in order to do that, they're folding in everything from our childhood. Like everything from the past
no,
is
no,
like
no, he's not a good guy.
oh, well, I mean, it doesn't have to I'm not saying by the role. I'm saying like they just have to reappear as characters. Like old stuff has to be included in the new. It can be in a new way, but that's I feel like is the trend.
Yeah, so like for me, I say it's a good watch. Like I paid like $15 to see it in IMAX. It was good. Like I would go see it. Like
Nice.
if you even like are interested in that kind of movie, it's not a Bond movie. It is way more actiony than a Bond movie. It is not a spy movie. It is a fucking it's like a heist movie.
Interesting.
It's like got kind of like that view of like John Wick a little bit, like with the style, but like it's an action movie. It is not about being a spy.
Not subterfuge. We're not being subtle in this movie. There's more
No,
explosions than disguises.
no, but there's disguise that's just like it is not drawn out.
I see.
It is drawn out for tension, not drawn out because it should be.
Do you feel like the two-part is going to be necessary? Or are you like, wow, I like that. I left me on a cliffhanger. I got to watch the second one now.
I feel like they could have resolved it, but like I wonder how they're gonna resolve it realistically. Like I wonder how they're gonna resolve this, because it kind of feels at times like you're playing fucking Uncharted, like when you're watching that movie.
Interesting.
Not like the Uncharted movie, like
Right,
fucking
right,
actual Uncharted. So I mean, who knows when the next one's gonna come out? Could be 2 years from now. But yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, other than that, we've been just watching, trying to keep up on TV. We all have our shows that we watch. What We Do in the Shadows, Righteous Gemstones, The Witcher, It's Always Sunny. Those are kind of like the shows we've all been watching, but like,
Oh, and The Bear.
Oh, and
watching The Bear.
Yeah, I haven't been watching The Bear, but we don't really have time to get into that on this podcast, I don't think. So maybe next podcast we'll talk a little bit more about TV rather than movies.
Yeah, we'll have more episodes out
Yeah.
to talk about. Well, I guess so.
Oh, here we go. Everyone,
So you're like, I'll do the preamble while you get set up.
all right.
So 2 weeks ago, Falling in Reverse did a cover of Last Resort by Papa Roach. Now, if you're not as old as us, you might be like, who's Papa Roach? And you just be like, oh, Falling in Reverse did this new song. Listen, I saw it and I was like, oh my God, I want to do a react video to this, but we haven't been using cameras. So I was like, Chris, I want to do this on the podcast. I just want to record your face for this video to see your reaction, and it is 5 minutes. So I want you guys to be buckled up for this video, this 5-minute video of Chris's face showing you how he feels about this, because I want to see it too. I might actually watch the podcast just for that reason.
So
Wait, can I get the webcam view? Can I get your webcam?
You want my
of your
webcam
face?
too? I can do my web. You want to? No, you get to watch the podcast now. You have to tune into the last fucking 10 minutes of this podcast. But no, so here's what we'll do. This is just for the video listeners. This part of the podcast won't be on the audio. So this is just going to be a treat for our video and YouTube subscribers.
All right, everybody. We're going to watch Chris react to Falling in Reversed, Last Resort, Reimagined.
All right, I'm ready.
All right. Falling in Reversed, Last Resort, Reimagined.
Reaction. So it's starting with some upside down, Oh God. Is this Ronnie Radke? Why is it so dramatic? It's fucking The Last Resort. Stop. Stop. I know, I think it kind of goes kind of hard, Zach. I'm kind of embarrassed. Did he just see the guy from Chiodos do his, and he's like, I can do one too? No, he did not say that twice. A little bit. If it was a cover of Don't Speak Like This, it would be exactly like... Oh, he's even got the arpeggios on the piano. Nice auto-tune, Rodkey. Oh, no. I'm sweating right now. That's how good this is. It's making me sweat. No, I'm not getting goosebumps. I think I'm sweating from embarrassment because I listened to this at one point. And actually, I kind of like it. I think that's why I'm sweating. It's because I kind of like it. Like, and the fuck, why is... It'd be better if I didn't watch the video. Why, the video... It's hits everywhere but his piano. It's so fucking dramatic. It's like the most dramatic thing I've ever seen. It's good if you forget it's a Papa Roach cover. Stop! This is too much. I don't know, like, it had me at first, but now it's just like... It was... What the... He reversed nuclear war?
Oh my god. So?
I think I'm gonna kill myself now. I think I'm contemplating
You're
suicide.
contemplating suicide?
I think so. This is the last podcast because I'll never be as good as Ronnie Radke.
I mean, I thought you had already known that since we were in high school, and you knew that you could never have a band. Like, I already forgot what it was called.
Well, you know what? I would like to renegotiate my contract. We need to talk after this podcast because I'm putting a band in my contract.
Like a rubber band? Like Rubber Band Man?
No. All right, that's it. All right. Good night, everybody. We got to talk. We have some renegotiating to do. Yeah? Have a good night. Thanks for tuning in. Comments.
He's losing his sight, losing his mind, you guys.
Yeah. Good night.